British expats and former residents are being targeted in a campaign to help them claim their lost pensions. The UK government estimates that by 2050 there will be £750 billion sitting in unclaimed funds. Nonnie Edwards spoke with David Noakes from Lifecare International to find out the extent of the problem.
Currently in the UK, it's estimated that there's around £3 billion in unclaimed pension funds held by various providers around the country. 23% of adults in the UK admit that they have no idea where their pension funds are, and statistically, people hold around about 11 different jobs throughout their working lifetime. So as you can understand, this could equate to potentially 11 different pension providers, pension schemes that people will try and have to keep track of.
It's for citizens and former residents alike.
Exactly, and this is one of the complications. Many expats go and live in the UK, especially in the London area. It's a large attraction for an expat community. They may go and work with a UK company for 4 or 5 years, maybe even less. Usually, if they've worked with a company for more than around about 2 years, the likelihood is that they will have been entered into some kind of workplace pension scheme.
So I would imagine that when people are packing up and leaving countries, it's not the first priority they have.
Exactly, it's one of the last things you think about. You're more concerned about making sure your family is going to be settled in your new place of residence. You need to settle into work, find somewhere to live. I think keeping track of your pension scheme and updating your pension provider is very, very low down on the list of priorities when you're travelling abroad.
So how do people go about finding this money or finding out if they do indeed have any money there?
The first thing to do is to try and recall who the pension provider is, and then go through your own records and see if you have any old annual pension statements from this provider, and this in theory will give you some initial contact details to go with. If that fails, you may need to approach your old employer. Now the issue here is that if it's a long time ago, the employer may have changed names, they may have changed schemes, they may have changed phone number, contact address. They may have even been bought out by another company. If none of those work, then you can visit the HMRC website, and they have a pension tracing service. So if somebody doesn't want to take the effort to do it, or gets halfway through the process and finds that they hit a brick wall, they can contact us at Lifecare International.
But what is the tax situation like on this?
So from an individual point of view, you don't need to worry about taxation. When taxation might become an issue is when somebody starts drawing their pension scheme, and then it comes down to their place of residence at that time and the current tax laws at that time. So it's hard to give a hard and fast rule here, because I can't speculate on what tax laws might be in 15 or 20 years' time.
Why is it something that people need to take charge of now as opposed to later?
The issue is that with current legislation, if no claim has been made within 6 years of the selected retirement age of the individual or their death, then they could potentially lose their entitlement to these funds completely. So it's very important that people keep track of their pension funds throughout their lifetime to make sure that they get the money that they've worked for, they've paid into the scheme, that they're entitled to help fund their retirement.